Okay, we'll take questions around the room. We do have microphones on each side, so please raise your hand when you've got a question. We'll try to get to as many as we can. We'll start over here on 2, 4th row, the second seat in.
Jason, Chris Mannix, Sports Illustrated. You coached Porzingis for 1 year in Dallas. There was a lot of expectations for him coming into that situation. I'm wondering, from your perspective, why didn't it work out the way you probably thought?
No, Chris, when you talk about did it work, did it not work, I only had him for a short period of time, and I thought, it was going well in the sense of our defense, his ability to block shots, rebound, and then offensively we looked to post them up a little bit more than Rick had used them in the post. It was strictly just, on the perimeter shooting threes. Both work. He has the skill set to do both. And as you know, in the business of basketball, there's trades that take place. And so, and we're judged if it works or doesn't work. That's just a part of the business. But for the short period I had him, I really enjoyed KP. He was great, great on the floor, great off the floor, did everything we asked. When you talk about, maybe the health, he got hurt. And so, as much as a coach or a teammate, you want them all to be out there 100% at all times. But I thought KP did great for us. But the business of basketball, there was a pivot. And so from there, things changed.
Same row in the aisle.
Bobby Manning, CLNS Media. Also on Kristaps, how have you kind of seen his game evolve in the years since you coached him and he left Dallas, and what kind of challenges are going up against him, especially when you're not certain like how they might use him in the minutes when he's coming in the series with the injury here?
Has it been that long he's been gone from Dallas?
A couple years. Yeah.
Okay. I think, again, his game, when you talk about a big who can put the ball on the floor, who can score, I believe can play in the post. And in today's game, there's a lot of threes. There's not a lot of post up. But when you look at the defensive end too, a lot of times he doesn't get recognized for his defense of being able to change shots or a shot blocker. And I think here in Boston, he's done an incredible job of doing both. There's no, he plays his role, and I think that's one of the things that's underrated about KP. When you ask him to do something, he does, and he doesn't complain about, his role. He goes out there and tries to help his team win.
Back right, Eddie.
Eddie Steffi on Mavs.com. Jason, you were a pretty elite thinker back in your days as a player. I'm wondering what you think about the way Luka thinks his way around the court to help maybe some athletic shortcomings, maybe?
Well, you said that, Eddie. I did not. We believe that he's super athletic. And so, but when you talk about basketball IQ, everybody has different levels. When you look at Luka's level of understanding the game, time and score, who's on the floor, he is at the head of the class in that sense. When you look at, the stage, he's not afraid of the stage, of the moment, successful or not. He loves that moment. And so it's really cool when you get to spend a lot of time with someone to see how they do move around the floor. He has shown that he can play defense at a high level. He's also shown, that he'll take a little time off when needed defensively. But when it comes down to it, he's about winning. And that's why we're here, is because of he's playing both sides of the ball, and he understands when he has to. But his offensive skill set is pretty special. When you talk about being able to play inside and out, play the mid-range game, shoot the deep three. He's just, so I think he's one of the smartest players in this league, and that's why, again, we're playing in the finals, because of his IQ and his willingness to step up on that stage and not be afraid to fail.
Over here, Tim on the third row on the aisle.
Jason, Tim Reynolds with the Associated Press. When Boston lost to Golden State a couple of years ago, there was a sense that guys like Jalen and Jason had to go through the finals. They had to go through it once to figure out what it was about. You played in it a couple times as a player before you won one. Is there any truth to that notion that a guy really to understand what it takes to win it, you almost have to go through the pain of losing one once to fully comprehend how big a deal the finals are?
Yeah, I think you do have to experience, and I think that's the nicer way to accept losing is that you have to go through it. It's a graceful way to accept losing, but you do have to again go through, defeat to understand, that bad taste or how you feel. How does it make you feel to work on your game, to get better? But then there are times when you're just not good enough. And as a player, unfortunately, with the Nets, we played the Lakers. We just weren't good enough, and we got swept. And so there are some cases that you just run into Shaq and Kobe, and you got to just take defeat and then move on. But we did bounce back to come back. But I think you do. Jason and Brown have gone through defeat. We also lost to the Warriors too that year. So the Warriors are really good, but they learned something, and you can see they're playing at a high level right now, winning 64 games, the best team in the NBA. To be, penciled in at the beginning of the season, that puts a little pressure or stress, because, you're supposed to be here. And so they fulfilled that, but that tandem, they're playing at an extremely high level, and we got our work cut out. But they've been here. Some of us for the Mavs have been here. Some of us haven't, and we're gonna embrace that and find a way to hopefully win a series.
On your right, Brad.
Jason, Brad Townsend, Dallas Morning News. Piggybacking off of Tim's question, this is your 5th finals as a player or coach. What is the biggest difference when you're talking about that hurdle between the winning the finals? What stands out to you as the biggest part of that hurdle? Is it the aura, the atmosphere, just the increase of a competition? What is it?
It's simple talent. Sometimes you don't have enough talent. As I brought up the Lakers and Nets, we were happy to be there, but we just didn't have enough talent to beat Kobe and Shaq. It could be that simple, but nerves sometimes play a part too, just the human side of things. But at the end of the day, as much as we've talked about it, to embrace it, to stay steady, and to enjoy this time, because you're not promised anything to come back the following year. So to do everything, this isn't a vacation. This is a road trip in the sense of a job. We have an opportunity here to find a way to win on the road. So that's how we're approaching it. But this is the best of the best at the highest level, and it's fun, and that's what the finals are all about, is seeing what team is going to step forward and take advantage of mistakes.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Up next, we will have Luka Doncic